My fiance cheated on me with the worst kind of girl. I and my fiance met in Vancouver. I was a successful voice actress and he was soon to be a lawyer. When we first met, there was an instant connection and we decided to keep dating. As the day went by, I moved in. It was my first time moving with someone in their home. I was a bit scared, as I have never depended so much on a man before. It took me several years to get over my exes, or even go on trips with them, as I have had traumatic experiences, such as them abandoning me in random places. A couple months after I worked long hours, 8-hour plus shifts, we decided Vancouver wasn't the place for us, as everything was expensive, and he was fired from work. So I had to support us with whatever I was making. Long story short, I was having many meltdowns because I was being harassed in my job, as well as my pay became less and less because they were more competitive girls and I wasn't feeling or doing my best. I was having arguments with my fiance. I would come home and clean the house, he would cook, and I would do the laundry and try to keep our home neat. We talked about moving to Mexico, where I'm from, as the cost of living was cheaper and I had bought my old place. We had many trips between Canada and Mexico as well as he had invited me to meet his sister and his mom in England. They were both very welcoming and loving. We had arguments here and there, but nothing too harsh or significant in my opinion. We traveled to Italy for my birthday in February and everything was fine. We came back to sell our stuff in Vancouver: sofa, kitchen stuff, the bed, everything, and the argument kept going as I didn't want to go back to my job. He knew I was being harassed. When we got ready to come down to Mexico, a couple days passed. I checked his phone and he had invited a girl over to have sex. He sent her pictures and tried to convince her to come through. I was feeling enraged. I woke him up immediately and slapped him across the face. I was furious. My airport was missing that day and my Pandora ring as well. I called her and asked her to send me the full conversation. He has swore he never saw her and hold it to this day. When she texted me, both he and she were making fun of my appearance, saying that I'm not pretty and I'm boring and bitter. They made comments about my body. During this time as well, we were trying to conceive. I spoke to his mom and I told her I didn't want him in Mexico anymore and I didn't want to be with him as I was very heartbroken. His mom and my parent convinced me to stay, but I'm having so many doubts. He's trying to reassure me he will never do anything like that anymore, but I'm having such a hard time. I feel unable to forgive him. I don't know what should I do. He wants to propose in July, but I don't feel like that is the man for me. What suggestions to move on from this? Comment by Hungry Blood. Your first instinct was the right one. This guy is a cheater who mocks you behind your back. Why in the world would you want to have kids with this man now? Do you know how many physical changes you'll go through when you get pregnant? He's already made fun of your body. When you were pregnant, you're at your most vulnerable and deserve a partner who will reassure you and love you. This guy isn't that. Cut your losses and dump this asshole. Just because you love his family doesn't mean you should stay with a guy who will stab you when you turn your back and cheat. You deserve much better. Move back home and leave the dirt bag in the dust. Tell him to enjoy this other woman because you're done.
And low calligrapher for 1-7 said, "Crew his mom and dad, they are not going to spend their entire life with their turd son. How can you forgive someone who claimed to love you and then make fun of your appearance to another girl? You really need to be strong right now and break this relationship and cut all contacts with this turd guy. Believe me, you will find someone far better than this. You don't need a shitty marriage life with a cheater and coward with kids tied up." It's not gonna get any better. Leave. Second chances only open the door of more disrespects, and lies have some goddamn standard. And love for yourself, don't be a spineless and doormat who accept all the shitty things from other people. I'm happy that you are trying, but remember one thing: therapy can't help you if you don't believe in yourself. You don't deserve any of this bullshit. He put you through marriage, not gonna make you happy if the person you are marrying is cheater, liar, shit taker, insecure, and clearly you are not a priority for him. It's not worth it if it's disrupting your peace, happiness, and things are going so bad because of that turd guy that you can't even sleep peacefully. Do you really think you deserve any of this?
Do you really want to spend your entire life like this? A marriage life only be happy if the other person will stand by your side, even if the whole world is turning their back against you.
Remember that who makes you fall in love with yourself, who values you, and at night where you can sleep peacefully. You wasted enough time on this guy now. It's time to move on and begin a new chapter where you are strong and have standard for yourself and don't take shit from other people. You only allow those people in your life who brings you peace and love. Otherwise, show the door. I think like this: if you ever have a daughter in future and she is in the same situation as you are, would you tell her suck it up or get out of that situation and live your life with fullest?
Winterfront 1431. Don't marry him. Tell him to leave. You try to make it work and it just ain't. Tell him. After everything, I can't get past it. I tried. I don't want to be with someone that can say such things and claim to love me. And I assure as hell I don't want to marry you. I want you to leave. There's no saving this. This is something you did and now you have to leave with the fallout. Don't stay because other people told you to. This is just the first time you caught him.
Second story, dumb mistake, husband best friend, posted by Reddit user Christy G891. Let me start with by saying my husband is an alcoholic, mean and verbally abusive with zero intentions to stop or cut back on drinking. After years of calling me fat, I started running. And actually, one of his best friends from high school runs in my same group. We do basically the same half marathons and the same marathon together. His friend has been so kind to me, just being someone I can vent about how awful nights are with my husband's drunk rants that go on for hours. Both were pretty wild growing up, but he actually grew up and my husband did not. Most times his friend comes to pick me up and he waits for me in our lobby downstairs since I live closer to the park and we run at a M or earlier and it's still dark out sometimes. After we stop by to get coffee and he walks me back to my building, which is on his way. He is a consultant and he travels a lot. He always tells me I deserve better, etc. A couple of days ago, after coffee, he asked to come upstairs to use the bathroom, and he has never in more than 1 year asked to come up. He also could have used the bathroom at the coffee shop, and I said sure because I knew my husband was going into the office that day. I don't know what I was thinking could happen. Well, on the elevator ride up, he put one hand gently on my face and the other one, while holding his iced coffee, on my lower back to pull me towards him, and he leaned down and just put his lips on mine, not even kissing. I could feel he was hard, and I can still feel the cold coffee on my lower back. I froze. I couldn't even say anything. And then my first thought was the security camera on the elevator. The elevator doors open, and we walk to my apartment. I unlock the door, and there is my husband with our dogs just eating breakfast, dressed for work. But he is on a call, so he mutes to say hi to his friend, and he goes to use the bathroom and leaves. I am first and foremost scared shitless the doorman is going to show footage of the elevator kiss to my husband. Second, just so excited to feel seen and wanted even though nothing else happened nor will happen. And third, I feel sad I am going to lose my running partner and friend.